Hey, it's Kyle here. Today I want to talk about something that doesn't get talked about enough in our industry. You don't have to scale. You don't need to grow a team. You don't need to launch $1 million business. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. But what you do need is a plan. You need an idea of how you can turn your business into a great part-time or full-time income. The kind of business that supports you financially and gives you the freedom. The kind of business that supports you financially and gives you the life that you want to live. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through what enough looks like for you. What's a big enough business? What's a big enough business? And this comes from one of the listener questions I got recently, which was like, I have a small group, but actually I don't mind having a small group, but I'm not really making any money. We'll talk about some back of the napkin math that you can do to calculate what you need to earn. We'll talk about how to create an offer that feels valuable enough to charge what you probably should be charging, and what to do if there's a gap between what you want to earn and what you're currently earning. We'll also talk about energy, because what you're excited about is what will be much easier to sell, and it's where you'll provide the most value to other people. So if you're stuck between feeling like, you're watching social media stuff and everyone's like, oh, stop playing it small, but you're also like, I don't really want to grow and create this giant thing that I then have to take care of or manage, or I don't want to be like a public figure or things like that, then this episode is for you. All right, welcome back to the warm-up. I'm Kyle Wood, and let's dive in. So I mentioned at the start that a listener brought this thing to me. It's a listener who I've interacted with like many times over the years, and they've got sort of a similar problem that keeps coming up over the years. And they're always like, I don't know if I should keep doing this. I don't know if I should quit. I see other people who have like these huge boot camps with lots of people coming to them. Mine are kind of small, but actually I don't mind. I actually want to stay small. And I think there's a bigger thing at play here. I didn't want to just be like, create an episode that was, here's how to grow your bootcamp. Here's like 10 top tips to grow your bootcamp. Because having interacted with them over the years, I know they don't need more tips and tricks and tactics. So today's episode is really about permission. It's about permission to create something that works for you, not just creating something because that's the way you should create a fitness business. I need to grow it to this size, and then I need to open multiple locations, and then I need to start a franchise, and then I need to have franchisees, and then I need to scale it, and then I need to go public, and then, I need to watch the whole thing crash and burn around me. If that sounds fun to you, go for it. But I think of a lot of us, we just like training people. We like being connected to our clients. We like having that contact with them. We like helping them grow, seeing their change. We're not necessarily interested in growing an empire. If you are, that's fine. There's other podcast episodes I have that are for you. If not, though, this episode is for you, because I want to teach you how to create something small and how to get paid well for it. And this episode is extremely near and dear to my heart because, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I'm going back to training and I have a really limited time. We're in a good position. My wife's business is taking off, but we still have small kids and we split the duty. So as she is more committed time-wise, I'm needing to think about how can I scale back how much time I'm working on my business and the question I'm asking myself, while making it better. Like how can I be working less and also the experience for you guys be better? And then as I'm thinking about going back to training, and there's like a few groups I want to get going, I'm getting my own fitness course cohort started, and thinking about even like some free stuff to offer the community, and working as a consultant as well online. I'm adding more things in, but I need to reduce my time. So it's this question of like, Well, first up, I need to make sure that even though I'm working less, I'm still making enough money to support the family. Because while my wife's income, while Zoe's income is going to go up, it would be nice if my income didn't go down, that it stayed the same, or it also went up, and it put us in a really nice position. So I'm using this as a bit of a challenge to think about, how can I step away from how we all see fitness things running, and how can I add more value to what I'm offering that doesn't take more time on my part? It's just more value to the person who's receiving it, so that they recognize that, oh, it's actually worth paying Kyle like a premium dollar amount for this. So it's been great, and it's been horrific. It's been terrible. I'll be like completely honest. Someone on a call the other day with me, a trainer, who said, I really loved it when you mentioned that like you didn't get any sleep this week because you're like tired. So this is me being real, that being in this messy middle of trying to answer these questions has been some pretty dark days, I'll be honest. Like, wrestling with this stuff is not easy. It's why a lot of us just go, all right, I'm just going to do what everyone else is doing, because that's what everyone else is doing. So this episode is going to be practical, but also it is somewhat, if you're thinking about doing this and you're trying to step out from the traditional model that you're seeing shown to you around like business models, of fitness business models, it's going to be tricky. Okay. And you're going to sometimes feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So let's go. Let's get into the practical stuff. So the first thing you need to do is work out, what is your ideal monthly income? And I've actually written a blog post a series of blog posts a while ago. Before I publish this, I'm going to revamp that, put them into one blog post, because there's some really helpful spreadsheets in there. I know you're like, oh, spreadsheets, but you can do this math on a piece of paper, but with the spreadsheet, you literally like type your number in. What do you want to earn per month? How many clients do you want to see? And it's just going to calculate how much you charge. So if you don't feel confident with doing maths or mathematics, a spreadsheet's just going to help you. So I'll share that in the show notes. I'll put a link to that new revamped article. But yeah, let's just talk through it. So first, work out how much do you want to earn. So let's say you just like, okay, to start with, I'd like my business to be making over $100,000 a year. So let's just call that $10,000 a month. Okay. And don't get freaked out, because that might be like, wow, that's so far above what I currently earn. Or, you might be earning that and you're like, actually, I've worked out I need like $400,000 a month. $400,000 a year, because I'm the sole breadwinner for our family. I have these goals, or I want to do this really expensive training with these other coaches and fitness professionals. So whatever it is, write down what that target is. Make sure it's somewhere like reasonable. Like if you're earning $50,000 a month at the moment, and you're like, I want to earn $1 million a year. Okay, like let's rein that back. Let's get to 100 first, then 250, then 500, then go for $1 million. Okay, because it's going to be different things you need to do to get to each income bracket. So let's just say for now it's 10 grand a month, whatever that is for you. Maybe 10,000 US, 10,000 Australian, 10,000 pound, 10,000 euros. Then work out how many hours a week do I want to work, or how many clients. I like clients. Like, how many clients do I want to see each week? Assuming that you'll see each client at least once a week. You might be like, kind of small, so I want to do like 30 clients a week. So you simply take that number, and I'm going to calculate it while I'm talking to you guys now. So you simply take your 10,000 divided by 30, and that gives us $333.33. So that means that on average per client, you need to be earning from them $333.33 per month on average. So you might have some clients you're getting 200 from, you might have some clients getting 500 from, depending on how often they're training with you and things like that. Now that's actually not that bad. Like, I know some places that charge 300 a month just for like 20 people group fitness. So if you're purposely thinking, I'm going to keep it small, then there's no reason why you can't be charging that or above. And seeing 30 clients a week in a group setting, even if you're only taking 6 people per session, that's like a minimum of 5 sessions you need to be running per week. If they come twice a week, it's 10 sessions. But 10 sessions is still 10 sessions to be making 10 grand a month. It's a different way of thinking about things. Now, one thing you will want to think about with money as well is if we follow the Profit First, which Profit First is a great book I recommend reading about how to like divvy out your money, you're probably going to take home 50% of what you earn. So if your business earns 10,000, if you follow the Profit First percentages, 50% of that is your take home. So you'll actually be making 5 grand a month. So you need to think about that too. If you were wanting to take home 10 grand a month, you actually need to run the figures for this for $20,000, okay? Because you need to put aside, the Profit First model is 50% is your income, 30% is for expenses, 15% aside for taxes, and then 5% is your profit that's why it's called Profit First, which you take out and put aside for holidays or some really cool training that if you wanted to do. So yeah, let's get into that. So let's say you're 20 grand. Now we're doubling that. So now you need to be earning nearly $700 per month per client. And that might feel like a lot. So the way we need to flip this now is, how does that feel? How does someone feel like they're getting good value, that it would be worthwhile spending $700 a month, or, you know, what does that work out to be per week? Divide by 4.3. So it's about $155 a week you want to earn from someone. I mean, that's like a couple of PT sessions. If you're charging $50 for a semi-private, that's 3 semi-private sessions a week. Again, it's not crazy. And then if you add some value on top of that, so if they get access to a library of things that you do at home, or if you've got ongoing, not challenges, but definitely check out Nest Labs has this amazing article on pacts, like PACTS, like a pact that you make with yourself, and how that's a great way. That's something I'm thinking about doing. So I'm going to help my clients come up with a pact that they're going to stick to that's related to their personal fitness goals, and they're going to follow that. So instead of just following some generic challenge, we're actually creating like a custom challenge for each person that runs for a certain period of time that's related to their goals and what they're capable of doing in their life. They might only have 5 minutes a day they can give towards this fitness goal, or they might only have one thing a day. You know, their diet might be trashed and so like one thing is just going to be like writing down what they eat or something like that. But yeah, like thinking about what is super valuable. That doesn't take very much of my time to help them come up with this thing, and then they're doing all the work, but they're getting immense value out of it because this is something they wouldn't do unless they were training with me. So that's the kind of stuff to start thinking about. Like, how can you start having those conversations with people where they start associating so much value with working with you, because you're the person who's talking to them about this stuff that no one else is really talking to them. And you're not just exchanging time for money. You're not just saying, hey, train with me, it's going to cost this much. Because I speak to trainers so often who are so frustrated because they know they could help their clients more if only their clients would listen to them, and they can't. And so there's sort of two ways there. Either you just go, you know what, I am just a fitness person and that's okay, and you guys are going to do this thing. But if you're wanting to keep things small, you need to be more than that. CrossFit or big gym or, you know, whatever else, or download an app on their phone and do stuff at the gym. More and more, especially like with AI getting better, like we are going to need to fill that role of like helping people stay accountable and helping them find unique ways to meet their goals, not general cookie cutter ways. So as I'm talking about this stuff, you might already have sparked a few things. Like there might be a few things you're like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to do this, or I've always wanted to do that. Pay attention to that. Like if that is exciting to you, that's a bit of a sign that maybe that's something you should try out. And just try out as simple as like get a group of people together. In my program Group Flow, I talk about getting together like a beta launch, like get together a beta fitness cohort who are going to try out this thing together and charge them a really great rate and let them go through this more high touch program and see what results they get on the other side. Then the other option is if you are just like, no, I just want to be the fitness person, then maybe you need to look at creating a second income stream. Like if you feel like, oh, I can't get to this higher value thing, get a part-time job. It's not the end of the world, like to get a part-time job. Find something that you're interested in or something that you don't maybe need to be that emotionally invested in, and do that for a while you're working this stuff out so that you can stay small while working out how to charge more. The other thing you might look at is how can you leverage what you already know into an online program? And that could be as simple as a couple of online classes that you charge a low fee for, but with an online class, you can go big. You can have 30, 50, 100 people signed up to come to your class. So even if you're charging low cost, that could be the part of your business that scales big, and you keep what you do face-to-face with people, that high touch, higher priced type service. And then there's also like, there's different ways to make money as like a creator these days. So if that interests you, if you're like, oh yeah, I like creating content, I want to create content around fitness and health, I want to teach this stuff, maybe you start some YouTube videos or something like that. It's a longer path definitely to bringing in income, but it is another option that you might think about if you're like, I don't want to make my business huge. I want to kind of have this hybrid creator where I create content and then also coach some clients on the side. Think of the amount of follow along yoga videos there are on YouTube, like an incredible amount. And there's a lot of successful yoga teachers as well. So if you've got a good teaching style, then that might be something that you look at doing. It's like as simple as follow along classes on YouTube. But definitely it's a new skill set. So if you've got a background already in media, that's going to help. Instead of putting your time into getting more clients, you might put your time into that. Come back to what energizes you. As I talk about these different things, where are you feeling in your body like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to charge more and have less clients, or oh yeah, I've like wanted to do a bit of a side thing, or oh yeah, I actually miss having a job and working as a team. I don't think I want to do everything by myself. And you might be like, oh, okay, I'm going to look for a cruisy part-time job where I can be around people and then also run my business. It's up to you. Like there's no wrong answer here. That's my point, is that you're being sold all the time that you need to scale, that you need to get bigger, that you need to go online, that you need to have a huge following, that you need to run ads. Like there's so many things being added to your to-do list. And I'm saying you can just like scrunch that to-do list up and throw it. Like, where's your waste paper basket? Like, take that shot and then sit down, get a new piece of paper, work out right at the top. This is how much I want to earn. Below that, this is how many clients I want to have. Below that, this is how much I need to earn per client. And then find the product, the thing that's going to be valuable enough that people are going to want to pay that. Okay. So, one last thing. I do want to say, when we talk about money, you might have even turned off this podcast episode because it's too triggering for you, because money really does get people, and I get it, every time you hit a different level with your income, money stuff comes up again. So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel uncomfortable. You might find that maybe this is something you need to work on. There's like some books you want to read. Actually, I'm going to recommend some books in the show. Go look at there. But what I want you to do is think about like, where are you now? How long have you been a trainer? How much skill have you accumulated over the years? How much value can you offer to someone's life? Not just in a monetary sense, but in a changing their life sense. And then bringing that back to money, isn't that worth something? And the less clients you have, the more attention you can give to one client. Isn't that worth something? That's what I want you to sit with. And also to know this, that when you charge well for what you do, it helps with your confidence. It makes you feel like, yeah, I'm being rewarded well for my time and my expertise here. And it does this thing where it opens up more doors for you, because now instead of always scraping by, you can afford to buy the bits of equipment that you really want to use with your clients. You can afford to do the trainings that help you become a better trainer, a better coach. That's why I was talking about, when you are earning a certain amount, divide that by half, because you're going to be spending a big chunk of that. So make sure you're doubling what your business earns. What you want to earn, double that to find what your business earns. And finally, if you are looking for a way to, maybe the idea of running like this higher cost small group programs really appeals to you, you'll definitely want to check out Group Flow. The enrollments are up. I'm just about to run the next round of this. Group Flow teaches you how to create a fitness cohort, a group of people coming together who sign up for a program for a certain amount of time. And it's a fantastic way to one of the biggest pieces of feedback I've had about Group Flow is how it gave trainers the confidence to finally create the program that they'd wanted to create forever. And it gave them the guidance of, like, not just how to create it, but how do I get that out into the world? How do I share it with people? How do I get people to sign up? And I've actually kind of been blown away by how well it's worked for other people. I shouldn't be, because of course it's worked well for me. It's worked well for my wife's business. I know this stuff works, but it's been so cool talking to people who ran in this program with me last year and seeing, like, wow, you followed what I said and you've put it into action and you've created your own thing. That's the other thing. You're going to create what you think a small group should be. And I give you the framework to build that out and promote it and launch it in a way that's in alignment with you. That's the other very different thing to this program. I'm not like, step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3. No, it doesn't work like that. It does if you want to create another generic fitness offering out there. This is about creating something that's unique to you, and after you've done the exercise today, something that's unique to your income goals and how many people you want to train. It provides the container for you to brainstorm your idea, get feedback, and by the end of the 4 weeks, you've got something that you can put out into the world. And with that, final thoughts for today. There's a lot of pressure online to run your business a certain way, that you're making a mistake if your business doesn't look like the other businesses around you. And I just want to end today's episode by saying that's false. That's wrong. That is just being told to you to sell you into programs. Basically, it's a marketing thing. I want to just take the pressure off you and say your business can look exactly how you want it to look, in a way that's going to work for you and be sustainable long term. All right, and with that, have a great week, and I'll catch you next week in next week's episode.